Big Heart Adventures, where the harvest is the hunt, and the hunt is all we want. Come join Big Heart Adventures, 'cause there's a world outside the door that we might as well explore. So let's go on Big Heart Adventures, where the harvest is the hunt, and the hunt is all we want. Good harvest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Mike Croston, for another episode of Big Heart Adventures, where the harvest is the hunt. I'm up here today at the farm back in southern Missouri, where it's been raining and the grass is green. And we came from Montana. It was hot and dry, and it's still hot and dry out there. And I feel bad for those guys. They're going to go through a pretty good drought this summer. But down here, looking pretty good. Clover and the fescue looks pretty good, and the cows are doing good. But anyways, today I kind of like to talk a little bit about the hunting aspect of it, and specifically talk to the hunters and kind of get deeper into how all this heart business can be fun for everyone. When we're looking at it, we've got basically three classes, three groups of hunters that we can kind of classify in. We've got the beginner hunters, or the hunters, the folks that want to hunt, haven't hunted before, looking forward to it, maybe a little bit nervous about it, and are wondering how to get into it and how heart fits in with them. Then we've got the hunters that are doing it now. I mean, they're full harvest hunting, they're into it, and maybe you got a little question of how heart fits in for you, or if it even does. And the last group of hunters are the hunters that have kind of given it up, kind of quit hunting for various reasons that we've kind of touched on before. So as we look at it, let's start with the beginning hunters. The hunters that want to get into it and want to really kind of know how that heart fits in for them. So you're a beginning hunter, and you're wondering, well, I want a heart hunt. It sounds like a good place for me to start. What's the first step? And I think the first step should always be find and take a hunter's safety course. Okay? So say to me, hey, I live in a place that I can't really find a hunter safety course, or I just don't have time for that. I mean, we want to make this easy. There's so much information out there. One of the ways you could possibly do it is take an online hunter safety course. I know the state of Missouri is very progressive. I really like their Department of Conservation. I think they do an excellent job. And one of the things I found was they have an online hunter safety course, which is great, because a lot of times these are 2-3 days deals, and who's got that much time without taking vacation or wrecking your weekend to block out for 2 or 3 days of sitting there listening to somebody talk? Yeah, it gets a little boring at times if you're not really into who's teaching or whatever. So an online course can let you do that on your schedule, learn at your pace. Maybe it only takes you a day. Maybe it only takes you an evening. So you're not tying yourself up. So that's a great resource. So if your state doesn't have an online hunter education, and I'm just throwing ideas out there, hunter education, and you can't find one local and you don't have the time, take an online course of a state that's closest to you, and pass that, and maybe go on a heart hunt in that state. You get a hunting license, buy a hunting license, go on a heart hunt in that state. You've got the online hunter safety course that you passed. Go on a hunt, and now when you come back to your home state, you've got a hunting license, and that's how pretty much everybody gets hunting license. And when you hunt in other states, you present your resident hunting license or a hunting license that you've got. And again, I'm throwing out ideas. It may not work. It may work. It sounds like it'll work. But first and foremost, take a hunter safety course. A lot of information there that's going to be a great place to start. And then you can move forward to the second step. So the second step would be, if you went through hunter safety and you enjoyed it, you say, okay, yeah, I'm into this. So the next step would probably be choose your weapon that you want to hunt with, and go into it knowing that when you're hard hunting, you may want to full harvest. So choose the weapon that you find interesting, that you would like to start hunting with. You might want to start with a muzzle loader. You might want to start with archery, or you might want to start with the rifle. If you haven't got a rifle range close, and it's going to be quite the deal to own a firearm and learn how to shoot it, why don't we start with archery? You can get a recurve bow, order it through the mail if you don't have a place to go buy one close, and you can learn the feel of learn about the bow, learn the feel of it, and if you've got a little place in the backyard or whatever, you can shoot a recurve bow. Set up a real safe deal. You can learn to shoot with it. Now, you can just learn to heart with it if you want to. If you don't have a place to shoot, you don't have a backyard big enough or it's safe enough, you can learn with the heartstring. Put your camera up, put a target in the house. You've got no arrows, whatever. I mean, you're just using the heartstring and the camera and the red dot, and just practice with that. Practice. I will show you a new mount that I've come up with that you can use your cell phone, and it works very well, and it gets that red dot right where you need it on target when you're using the heartstring. So at the very least, you could own a bow, get the feel for a bow, learn how to heart with the bow. Now, I'm pretty sure pretty close to most people, you can find an archery shop. And the beautiful thing about archery shops is they all pretty much have ranges. So again, a great place to start would be H.A.R.T Archery. Go to the archery shop, find your recurve bow, and you can learn to shoot there. And so you've got a safe place to shoot. You've got somebody there. They're all going to be very knowledgeable and teach you. They can teach you how to shoot. They want to sell you stuff. They want to sell you a bow. They want to sell you arrows and broadheads and whatnot. And they're going to teach you how to shoot. And I can't stress enough that whatever weapon you choose, learn how to shoot it. Spend time at the range, whether it's a muzzle loader or a rifle, or maybe you want to use a handgun with a scope. How cool would that be? Or an archery setup, but learn how to shoot it and take part in that side of the sport, because it's really fun. I mean, shooting targets, learning how to shoot, getting better, it's all real fun, whether it's with the muzzleloader, rifle, or archery setup. It's just another thing you can do that's part of it all, but it's also separate to where you're doing different things. It stays exciting. It stays fresh. So, but I really stress, I mean, if you get into it and all you want to do is heart, but still practice with live ammo, live arrows and live rounds with the muzzleloader, because it's just fun. I mean, you can shoot targets, you can shoot whatever. They've got all sorts of fun stuff you can shoot at. Same goes with shotgun. I mean, that shooting clay targets is a lot of fun. And so that's one part of it that I think that if you're getting into hunting, getting into H.A.R.T, that you don't want to discount is the shooting sports. Okay, so enough of that. So now you're familiar with your weapon. You've chose which one you want to do, and you think, okay, now I'm going to try this hunting thing, but I want to start with H.A.R.T. So what's next? Well, next is I would find a private place to go to, just because it's a more controlled environment. There's a few things less that you have to worry about. So maybe it's a high fence place. Maybe it's a hard hunt operator, which in a month I will show you how that will work. But as of right now, just take it for what it's worth. There's going to be some hard operations. Hey, that's funny. heart operations. But anyways, start in a controlled environment to where you don't have to worry about the logistics of the skills it takes to hunt. You want to be able to go out there and just kind of fumble around. You're going to fumble around a little bit the first time. You're just going to learn, okay? You're just going to learn a lot of things about hunting. And if it's in a controlled environment, you just don't have to worry about a lot of the other safety aspects of it, as far as getting lost, what gear you need, because everything's going to be kind of provided for you. It's going to be really easy to get started by going to some controlled environment like that, like a high fence, or if you know somebody with a property, go with hunters, go with full harvest hunters, and tag along. And I'm sure that they'll see does or deer that they don't want to shoot, that they'll encourage you to go ahead and heart, and you'll learn all the nuances of how to stalk in or how to sit still, and so that's a great place to start, is those environments. So now you're off on your H.A.R.T hunt. You may be with some friends. You all decided to kind of get in this together. That's a great way to get started, with a couple friends and learn together. So your first step was to go to one of these private, maybe let's say you went to a high fence and they let you heart a few animals and you had a good time, and you learned some things. And now you want to kind of go out a little bit further. I would look into going with an outfitter on a hunt that excites you. It's something in a place where you've always wanted to go. So start with the place you always wanted to go, and then pick a species of an animal, of the animal you want to hunt in that area, and then go find the outfitter in that area. Again, a little bit more controlled, not quite as much. They're going to provide a lot, but you're still going to have to be in shape. They'll be able to teach you some things, some skills, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a step outside of the high fence, the private land, and you're going to be kind of on your own with a guide. So you're going to be immersed into the next level of it. So you get past that, and maybe do 2 or 3 hunts with outfitters, and then moving on to your do-it-yourself, which the best part about do-it-yourself is the process. From deciding where you want to go to how you're going to do it, with who you're going to go with, and exactly what time of year, and then scouting and all that stuff. It's just the whole process, and then when it all comes together, there's nothing better. So as you can see, as a beginning hunter, it's not that difficult with H.A.R.T, because we've kind of taken out those things that could hold you back because you don't have access to, say, a range or the ability to buy a weapon and store it in your apartment, whatever. If those things hold you back, because you can always have a recurve bow taken down in a case, with no arrows. It's basically at that point a stick with a camera on it. So we've just taken that away. The whole goal is to eliminate those things that keep people from hunting. So I think beginning hunters, this H.A.R.T hunt and release technique can get you in there. And I know after you H.A.R.T a few times, you're going to get the itch to full harvest and partake of some of the meat, and if not, that's fine too. But there's also the opportunity to come back to H.A.R.T if full harvest was not your cup of tea. So, okay, it's that time again for the song from the H.A.R.T. And this time, when I was up in Montana, recorded 4 new songs, and I'm going to choose Living the Dream for this week's song from the H.A.R.T. Oh, purple mountains, amber waves of grain, paint the picture I'm living along life's highway. In a land not perfect but close enough for me, with my saddle and my 6-string, I'm living the dream. It's a story not new, but further and further between. 'Cause freedom is fleeting and so is all liberty. But a cowboy rides on aimless as it may seem, with my saddle and my six string, I'm living the dream. I keep drifting and dreaming, doing the best I can, taking care of my cattle, family, and the land. And I'll hang my hat anywhere the grass is green, with my saddle and my six string, I'm living the dream. Now I know most people ain't gonna understand. I can pick on up and move across the land, but America has been so good to me. So with my saddle and my six string, I'll keep living the dream. I keep drifting and dreaming, doing the best I can, taking care of my cattle, family, and the land. And I'll hang my hat anywhere the grass is green, with my saddle and my six string, I'm living the dream. I keep drifting and dreaming, doing the best I can, taking care of my cattle, family, and the land. And I'll hang my hat anywhere the grass is green, with my saddle and my six string, I'll keep living the dream. With my saddle and my six string, I'll keep living the dream. All right. I think we're all living the dream here in America. And I just want to remind everyone, if you've got a song for me that you want me to either play or you want me to record, send it in. H.A.R.T@BigHeartAdventures.com, and I'll try to get it on here. I haven't got anything yet, so you're going to keep hearing me. Now let me talk to those full harvest hunters, the guys that are going out every year and trying to bag a big bull or a big buck and have some meat to fill the freezer. You're thinking, well, how does H.A.R.T fit in with me? It doesn't seem like that makes any sense. And maybe not. Maybe it doesn't fit. Maybe you get enough hunting done throughout the year. Maybe the opportunity is there for you, and you're eating all the meat and you want all the trophies. And so maybe it doesn't. But a lot of the time, there's a few opportunities that throughout the year that you have some time constraints and the seasons don't match up. Whereas H.A.R.T, you can kind of be outside those peak times of the season during the rut and stuff like that. You could hunt outside those times, knowing that you might not be as successful as far as seeing animals, but you're getting out there anyways. You're staying on top of your hunting game. You're not getting dull. I know me being gone out hunting for a while, when I came back to it, you were just a little clumsy out there in the woods, made some mistakes. But now that I've been back into it and kind of immersed into it now, you can feel that, I'm more confident when I'm out there. I'm doing the right things. I remember how to do it right. And that's kind of where it's at. Take the deep part of the winter off from hunting, and then you're in spring and you don't go bear hunting or something like that, or turkey hunting. You miss that. Then you're all the way through summer, and you kind of got to get sharpened up again on those skills. Keep your mind sharp, keep your skills sharp. So the H.A.R.T can do that. It gives you the ability to go out when you don't have a lot of time to harvest something and then deal with that. You can still go out and hunt, keep the skills sharp, and have that recreation fun instead of sit around watching television. That's kind of where it fits in. Another place it kind of fits in is if you want to go out and go to these places that kind of cost a lot of money to full harvest. I'm finding that they are fine with the H.A.R.T deal, and they discount these hunts accordingly. And basically what it amounts to is a night stay in the lodging, and then whatever costs associated with staying there and using the property. So it's not like dirt cheap, but comparable. It's, most of the time half to a quarter of what a full harvest hunt is, which it should be, because you're not removing the resource and you're basically out there using that property but not removing the resource. So if you have a desire to go to a property and hunt a certain species that just kind of seems out of your price range, H.A.R.T may be for you, because you just don't need to kill that animal, but you really want to go to that area, that state, that mountain range, and hunt that species. This gives you a way to do that and could be more affordable. Okay, so again, we're trying to remove these barriers to the hunting that we all want to do. And again, H.A.R.T can do that in most cases. Okay, we're going in 2 weeks, heading on a trip. I'm taking my best friend from high school. He lives in, the suburbs, works in the city. He's a traditional urban guy. Has really never hunted. We took him hunting once in high school, but basically made him be the rabbit dog. We dressed him all in orange from his head to his boots and made him bust the brush for rabbits, because we didn't have a dog that day. And it was pretty cold and snowy. So we had a good time making him work. But I think that's the only time he's ever been hunting. And so he's familiar with firearms, and so he's got that under his belt. But we're going to go on a pretty big trip to really highlight how H.A.R.T can save you some money and let you hunt where you normally wouldn't hunt, either because of price or because you just didn't want to shoot the animal. So, pretty excited about this trip, but I'm a full harvest guy, was a full harvest guy, and we're going to go H.A.R.T and possibly full harvest some animals. But anyways, so that's in a couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. But let's get back to what we were talking about. H.A.R.T does fit in certain circumstances for full harvest guys. And like I say, like I'm always going to say, it's never instead of, it's always in addition to. The more time we're in the woods, the more time we're spending out in nature, the better skills we're getting, the better appreciation for that resource, and the more likely that conservation efforts are going to be positive. Okay, so let's move on to the final group of hunters. And again, I'm not trying to classify everybody as hunters. I'm just trying to say there's some groups that are the H.A.R.T specific to different scenarios. So we're all hunters together. We like the outdoors. We like to hunt. But the final group would be us hunters that stopped hunting for whatever reason. Again, we didn't eat the meat. We didn't want to trophy hunt. Just didn't have the time. We just stopped hunting, which is a shame, because I mean, you can slow down hunting, but to completely stop, I think you just lose something. You lose a part of the human experience with nature. If you've stopped hunting because of those things, it's an obvious choice for heart, because that can bring you back. You don't have to full harvest. You don't have to worry about what you're going to do with the meat, and you don't have to worry about just harvesting the animal for the trophy. It works perfectly that way. And let's take this scenario, which I like. Let's say you're an older hunter and you have grandkids. You were into full harvest hunting and guns and live rounds and this and that. And then you've got these grandkids that may or may not have been exposed to any of that, but I guarantee you they were exposed to electronics and are probably into that sort of technology, whereas you probably are not, and probably could take it or leave it. You probably maybe still have a flip phone. Maybe the grandkids have to help you with your smartphone. But here's a perfect way to take two separate interests and combine them into one enjoyable experience. You don't want nothing to do with the technology that it kind of takes to do these hard things. Pass that on to the grandkid. Make that responsibility theirs. Setting up the scope and the camera system on it, and making sure it works through the smartphone. And then you can go out into the woods and you can teach them the skills that go with hunting, and they can show you the technology and how it works, because we can all learn. We're not too old to do that. We just kind of have to want to learn. And I think we should want to learn, and I think they should want to learn, and then meet in the middle on this hard thing. And so you go out and you show them the skills it takes to be a hunter, the patience it takes to be a hunter, the perseverance at times it takes to be a hunter, to fight through the cold and the wind and the numb fingers and the numb toes, because it's not going to kill you. And if you can learn how to fight through those and get inside your mind on how to handle those situations, you learn how to handle other situations a lot better that are causing stress. But anyway, so you bring that together. You're on a heart hunt. You heart an animal, and then you can come back and say, hey, why don't you put together a little video to show everybody of the hunt? And they've got something they can be involved in, and something they make and be proud of. And the whole experience is a positive one from the get-go. Now, it could evolve into full harvest hunting, and wouldn't that be great if you took a grandkid that you didn't think was ever going to be involved in hunting and let him full harvest. And then if he liked it, you've instilled something in him. And if he didn't like it, guess what? Always come back to the heart. Always come back to the heart to spend time with your kids and your grandkids. So, heart can get you involved, get you started, bring you back, or extend your season, keep your skills sharp, and everything is in addition to full harvest hunting. When you look at those positive aspects of it, heart kind of is for everyone in its own way. Now, we always want to remember, we want to stay within the seasons. We want to buy a license. We want to be safe. We want to follow regulations. Get to know your weapon so you're always safe out there, even though it's blanks and no arrows, right? You still want to treat everything as if it's live, because at some point you might go live and you just want to have that in the back of your mind and treat it. If you're treating it like it's live, it'll always be live, and you can always be safe. And that's being safe outdoors is one of the most important things. All right, we've gone over the hunting aspect of it. In a few weeks, after we get back from this trip, I've got a pretty big announcement coming out that is really going to turn the tide to help bring this all together, to make it easier to facilitate the starting point to get into hunting and then finally doing it. I'm really excited about it. I think once it comes out, it's going to make it a lot easier for everybody to be involved in hunting, and in particular hunt and release technique hunting. Hopefully We can stay up on things. Keep following us on bigheartedventures.com, the YouTube site, Big Heart Adventures. Try to put as many videos up there. This next trip's going to be a whirlwind deal, and I'm just try to take as much film and put it out there. We're doing this ourselves. At times it might look rough. We try to make it look as good, but the whole idea is to get the information out there. Well, I'm not a Hollywood actor. I'm not out there to look good. CB Brown behind me is going to miss this trip, so I'm going to be the cameraman on this deal, filming my buddy Mike, which was going to be pretty awesome. But so all these things is for information. I want it out there. There's plenty of entertainment out there. There's plenty of funny people out there. There's plenty of pretty people out there. I just want to get you the information, and that's my main goal. So we're going to head out in a couple weeks, and in the meantime, let's everybody just take care of our neighbor and H.A.R.T the Hunt.
We ain't here for a long time, just a good time. Momentary footprints in the sand. We ain't here for a long time, just a good time. Just as well get out of the stand. Just get on up and get out of the stand.